Today I'm reviewing the LG S80TR 5.1.3-Channel Home Theater Soundbar System, a package with rear surround speakers and a wireless subwoofer designed to match LG OLED TVs. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've had this set up in my living room for several weeks paired with an OLED TV. I've used it for movies, streaming shows, console gaming, and everyday TV audio. These impressions come from real-world listening and watching, not just spec sheets. Let's set expectations early. This isn't a rack of separates with discrete amps and individual speakers spread throughout a dedicated theater room. It's also not a tiny TV soundbar that only improves dialogue. What it's built to do is give more immersive surround sound and a fuller low end, without running speaker wires all over your space. In everyday movie watching, the S80TR feels noticeably wider and more layered than a typical built-in TV speaker. Dialogue is clear and sits in the center without sounding thin, and ambient and overhead cues in Dolby Atmos mixes feel more present. You don't get the absolute precision of ceiling-mounted speakers, but the added height effects and rear surrounds give a stronger sense of space than front-only bars. When gaming, positional cues feel mapped out better than basic stereo or front channels alone. Effects like overhead aircraft, background movement, or directional sound in games come through with a sense of placement that adds immersion without distracting from the action. Streaming music is practical and balanced, playlists and podcasts come through cleanly, with the subwoofer adding warmth down low. It's not going to shake walls like a dedicated sub in a separates rig, but for everyday listening the extra bass depth makes a real difference compared with small bar-only setups. Thermals and daily usability matter too. All components stay quiet and cool during extended use. There's no fan noise coming from the bar or the subwoofer, so you're listening to content rather than machinery. Setup is straightforward, the wireless sub and rear speakers pair without running long cables, and the system integrates with LG TVs in a way that avoids complicated menus. Even when I wasn't using an LG TV, the remote and app controls stayed intuitive for input and sound mode adjustments. Now a balanced comparison. If you're after the last drop of dynamic punch in a large room or absolute pinpoint imaging, discrete speakers with an ADR and dedicated front/rear/ceiling will outperform any all-in-one system. That's just how separates behave when you push power and individual channel control. If you're comparing this to a simple soundbar or a 3.1 setup, you'll notice the advantage of true rear surrounds and subwoofer support. Simpler options can improve over TV speakers, but they don't give you that sense of sound around you. This system makes the most sense for listeners and viewers who want a more immersive experience than basic TV speakers, appreciate Dolby Atmos and high cues without ceiling speakers, value wireless surrounds and a subwoofer without running cables, use movies, shows, and gaming in a common living room. It isn't trying to replace a dedicated, wired home theater rack. It's focused on bringing surround depth, clearer dialogue, and fuller bass into everyday viewing spaces with minimal setup fuss. Here's the rational evaluation. The LG S80TR delivers an expansive, engaging soundstage with notable improvements over front-only audio. Dialogue stays clear, ambient and height cues feel broader, and the wireless sub adds practical low-end presence without being overpowering. The trade-offs, typical for integrated surround systems, are that it won't match the sheer headroom and precision of large, discrete speaker systems, and extreme bass impact isn't its focus. But for everyday movies, shows, and gaming where you want immersive sound without messy wiring, it feels like a capable and balanced choice. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.